Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with another painting test video. So, when the first edition of the beautiful new Army speed paints came out, they were met with quite a lot of controversy. A lot of people complaining about them with the idea of the reactivation and all those different issues that they were talking about. Now, I made a video back then. Army Painter very kindly sent me out their first iteration of the Army speed paints, and I didn't see a lot of the effects that people were complaining about. I made a video, quite a fun video, on how to correctly use Army speed paints. That is to date still one of the most successful videos I've ever put on this channel. People seem to really resonate with that, and they enjoyed the product. Now, since then, Army Painter has come out and released the Army Painter Set 2.0, which has addressed any and all issues that has come from the first edition. So I think it's very brave of a company to come out there and immediately say, okay, I've taken on board what you guys have said. Here's what we're going to do to make it right. We're going to make some new paints and try and iron out any and all of those issues that you can see. I think that's a really big kind of step in the right direction for any company to make. Yeah, it's really cool. So they have very kindly once again sent me out a mega set of their second edition. It has more than twice the colors, and in today's video I'm going to test them out on a beautiful new kind of pumpkin king model that's from the sponsor of today's video, which is Dragon Trappers Lodge. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later in the video. So like I said, there's 50 colors in this. I think there's about 24 colors in the first batch, and there's 50 colors in the second one, so there's more than twice the amount of paints, which I think is really cool, including some metallics which I have already been playing around with, and I don't want to talk about them too much in this video because I think they deserve a video all by themselves because they are very interesting. And once again, I think there's a couple of different ways that you can use them to their fullest effect. So without further ado, let's get stuck in and let's get using some of the new Army speed paints. Okay guys, this is the stunning miniature that was very kindly provided to me by Dragon Trappers Lodge. Like I said, the sponsor of today's video. Dragon Trappers Lodge is a Patreon subscription service that provides you with some of the most fantastic STL designs on a monthly basis. The three tiers I think you guys need to know about is the Trapper tier, which is those who are interested in Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games. They provide a whole host of miniatures plus some rules to use and create awesome scenarios every single month. The Soldier tier, which is used for those who like miniature wargaming and want to create an entire armies of these amazing designs. And the Veteran tier, which of course incorporates both for a nice little discount. If you're interested in checking out some of the other amazing designs these guys have available, you can either check out the link below to their Patreon and see what they have available this month, or go to their My Mini Factory store and see some of their older sets. I printed out quite a lot of their bits and pieces now at this stage, and I have never been disappointed. Once again, a huge thank you to Dragon Trappers Lodge for sponsoring today's video. So what I wanted to do with today's video is, of course, test out the unbelievable new range of Army speed paints. So like I said, I was very happy with the original set of Army speed paints, even when the rest of the world was kind of rallying against them, and a lot of hate was put towards the original set, and a lot of creators came out and kind of backed the Army Painter studio and said, well, actually, if you learn how to use them, or if you use them in a different way, or you know, you don't just take all of the harsh comments at face value, maybe you can get some good use out of them. And I was one that definitely just kind of ignored all those comments and went in with a fresh idea and just gave them a shot myself, and was very pleasantly surprised. So I was very excited when they came out with the second edition, where they answered and solved any of the issues they had with the previous set, and nearly doubled the range of miniature or paints, more than doubled the range of paints, including adding speed paint metallics, which is something we haven't seen from any other creator just yet. And I must say that they're quite an interesting talking point as well. Like I said, I will do a whole video on just them. I started with orange as I'm painting up the Pumpkin King. And when I first started using the orange, it did seem like it was coming out a little bit thin, but as I continued to apply it, I don't mean more coats, I just mean continued with the first initial coat. It did settle down, it did give a solid coat, and it was exactly the right kind of color and shade I needed for a pumpkin. So it was very cool. Orange being one of the kind of more peculiar colors that I could have chosen means that there's only one orange in the set. If I had chosen something like yellow or blue or green, there would have been 5 or 6 to choose from for each, but I had to be awkward, didn't I? Next, I tried that moss color and then moved on to the brownish decay color. Just to get a little bit of color on the base. I wanted to put some color on the base before I glued the model to it. So what I ended up doing is doing these two stages of speed paint. As you can see, they are applying really nice. The decay one is a very interesting color. I do like the mossy gray color I decided to use for the stones. It looks like age-worn stone, which you would find on the ground out in the open, which I think works a treat for that. I don't show it in the video, but I do end up dry brushing this base up with a kind of a tan color and then a bone color, and then just rim it up black just to tidy it up a little bit. Here is where it got interesting for me though. It's when I started playing with this. This is Forest Sprite. I'm going to say this now. If you're in a shop, you enjoy using speed paints or contrasts or anything like that, and there's a pot of this on the shelf and you do not own it, buy it. It is unreal. I was not prepared at the beginning of this video for how good this green was going to be. One of the things that the orange was a little bit more kind of runny than normal. Contrast is just something I have to learn how to use. So obviously some of that orange did trickle down onto the leaves that I'm painting now. So I was a little bit unsure about how the green would take that, if the orange would kind of show through. So I just started applying the green on these leaves to test it out. And the more I applied, the more impressed I became. It was so vibrant. It was such a beautiful color. It did exactly that kind of contrasty thing like we wanted to. As a person that intends to do some wood elves for the old world, when that comes back, this color is definitely going to be made. I don't know, I'm going to use it so much for so much of the army. Now, normally when I'm showing you guys how to paint a particular piece or show off a thing, it's only a small kind of couple of second clip with the color, and then I show you the result afterwards. For this, I'm just going to let the paint itself do the talking, so I am going to leave it a little bit longer with me applying color, or this green, to the model. Not only on the leaves, but I want to do it on one of the stalks as well. Just to show you on a more kind of a larger and a smoother surface what it does. Like usually what I will say in these videos is I'm going to just do base coats here, and then later on, kind of away and off camera, I will go in and I'll layer up the orange and do some more work on the stuff. I have no intention of touching the orange or the green on this model afterwards. I'm going to go back in and do a little bit more work on the teeth, and I'm going to do some more work on the inside of the mouth and stuff like that kind of after the video. But these two colors just turned out so good. I was just so impressed. This is definitely my takeaway point from this. And I do say it a little bit at the end where I talk about the idea, if I've only played around with 3 or 4 of these paints and I've already found one color that's better than any other type of this paint that I've seen so far, I wonder what other new paints from Army Speed Painter are going to knock my socks off. So I'm definitely excited to go through the entire range and see what jumps out. Look how vibrant that green is. One coat. No crazy pooling. It settles into all the recesses, and that's that whole, like, it's a little bit more viscous than normal paints. It's doing that perfect job of going where it's needed to, drying correctly, and giving me the perfect result. I'm staggered by it. I definitely think I need to delve in further with the new Army Speed paints. Like I said, I only really plan on doing this video and maybe the one of the metallics. But now I think I'm definitely going to have to go through the range and have a proper playthrough. Here's the base, like I said, finished up with the tan and the bone dry brush on. I glued that guy on just to get an idea. I pulled out some bony matter color. I did this just to kind of glaze over the eyes a little bit. I didn't want them as kind of bright and vibrant. I wanted them like kind of milky and dud and old and, you know, a bit more horror-esque. I was thinking about doing the teeth with this as well, but I decided it was going to be easier to get in at the kind of mouth and the tongue and the gums inside the mouth to just kind of focus that. So I'm going to use the murder scene purple color. I'm just going to paint that inside the entire mouth area. And then I'm also going to do it for the eyelids around the eyes. Now that's a bit of a peculiar choice. I could have done that orange, or I could have done that the bone. But I just wanted to break it up just a little bit more. Add a little bit of a touch more color. Yeah, and I think it was the right choice in the end. And like I said already, I will be going back and touching up definitely the inside of the mouth and the eyes and stuff like that. But the orange and the green, I think it definitely screams, you know, Pumpkin King to me. I am going to go away from the speed paints for 2 seconds because I just want to put a little bit, because I want to see what the model will look like kind of semi-finished. So I go in and paint the teeth with a coat of the beige color, to be honest. Being careful not to hit any of those gums. And I believe I did two thin coats to brighten it up a little bit. I should have gone back in with a bone for a second one, but I plan on doing that after I've painted the inside of the mouth again, because I'm inevitably going to hit those teeth. So having another layer of to go on the teeth to correct any mistakes, I think is a good call for me. Looking fab. Now for the eyes, we all hate pupils. That's what I tend to, for monsters and stuff. I tend to do the cat eye thing, where I just find the middle of the eye and paint a black stripe down the middle. It's very beholder-esque, and this guy definitely screams a beholder to me. Some of the cool facts about some of these, like for instance, this Pumpkin King miniature, you get 2 versions of him. You get him like this, and you get him kind of slumbering, so he just looks like a big pumpkin patch, which, imagine the ideas for a D&D game is what you could do with that. I think it's awesome. Here is the finished result. Like I said, I am super pleased with how he turned out. please take another second to look at that green. Here's just a couple of still images of him on a tabletop to see what he actually looks like as opposed to in a video format. I'm super pleased with him. I put a little bit of orange light on him for a bit of Halloween-esque theme for the last picture, just to show him off, and I think he looks awesome. Okay guys, what can I say about Army Speed Paint 2.0? I love it. I only got to use about 6 or 7 of the colors in today's video because I didn't want to basically go too hard. I wanted to try 6 specific colors and see what results that I could get from them. I must say that I am very pleased with what I have achieved so far. The Pumpkin King miniature from the sponsor of today's video, Dragon Trapper's Lodge, came out fantastic. I'm super pleased with the result. I thought the orange was going to be a little bit thin, a little bit saturated at the beginning, but once I applied the entire thing, it was really cool. That green though is next level. That forest green, or sprite green, or whatever it's called, I'll double check the name for you guys, it's probably the best speed paint slash contrast slash, you know, any of those kind of paint greens that I've ever laid my hands on. And now I'm curious to know what other colors in the Army Speed Paint 2.0 range are better than any of the other ones. So I'm excited to continue testing and playing around with these guys. Like I said, I do want to do a video solely on the metallics for this range because I have tested them out so far and I've used them in a specific way that I think the results are pretty cool. And hopefully I can share that with you guys really soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Ask me any questions you want in the comments below and I will get back to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your continued support. You're amazing. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. It makes a huge difference. And I will see you guys in the next video.